But why does Y2K still have such a tight grip on fashion, music, and movies today? Let's rewind and break it all down. The fashion comeback. Fashion in the early 2000s was bold, fun, and let's be real, kinda questionable. But somehow it's all back. Low-rise jeans? Yep. Velour tracksuits? Making a comeback. Tiny sunglasses and bedazzled everything? Trendy again. Y2K fashion was about mixing high and low, making statements, and not taking style too seriously, which is exactly why Gen Z and millennials are bringing it back. Brands like Blue Marine, Diesel, and even Juicy Couture are seeing a huge resurgence. The influence of Paris Hilton, Aaliyah, and early 2000s Britney Spears is all over today's runways. Fashion has become cyclical, but the Y2K era was uniquely playful and rebellious, and that's exactly what makes it timeless. The soundtrack of a generation. If you had a burned CD labeled Bops Only in bubble letters, you already know. Y2K music shaped a generation. This era gave us the ultimate pop princesses, boy bands with frosted tips, R&B collabs that still hit, and TRL-worthy music videos that set trends. Britney Spears was America's pop princess. Christina Aguilera gave us dirty energy. NSYNC and Backstreet Boys had us choosing sides. And Usher and Beyonce were defining R&B dominance. And who could forget MySpace music? The emo scene had its own wave. Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, Paramore, these bands defined teen angst and are still iconic today. The movies that defined an era. Y2K wasn't just about fashion and music. The movies of this era still live rent-free in our minds. From hilarious teen comedies to thrillers that had us checking over our shoulders, early 2000s cinema just hit different. American Pie pushed the boundaries of raunchy teen comedy and basically defined the genre. Bring It On made cheerleading iconic and gave us one of the best Y2K soundtracks. Disturbia put a modern twist on Hitchcock's Rear Window, while Legally Blonde and Mean Girls delivered career-defining roles for Reese Witherspoon and Lindsay Lohan. And let's not forget the horror scene. The Ring, Final Destination, and even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake all reshaped Y2K fear culture. The cultural moments that shook the 2000s. It wasn't just about fashion, music, and movies. The early 2000s had some of the biggest pop culture moments ever. Britney and Madonna's kiss at the 2003 VMAs, one of the most talked about performances of all time. Britney Spears and Madonna locked lips on stage, sending the internet and news outlets into a frenzy. Even today, this is one of the most rewatched VMA moments ever. The rise of reality TV and Paris Hilton's influence. The early 2000s gave us The Simple Life, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Americans' obsession with socialites turned business moguls. Paris Hilton was the undisputed queen of this era. From her signature, "That's hot," to catchphrases to redefining early influencer culture. Justin and Britney's all-denim red carpet look. This moment will never be forgotten. Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake showing up to the 2001 AMAs in head-to-toe denim, creating one of the most infamous fashion moments of all time. Even today, celebs recreate this look as an ode to peak Y2K style. Janet Jackson's Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction in 2004. One of the biggest pop culture controversies of all time. Janet Jackson's Super Bowl halftime performance with Justin Timberlake ended in a wardrobe malfunction that sparked debates, FCC crackdowns, and the birth of YouTube. 50 Cent getting shot and still dropping Get Rich or Die Trying? I mean, talk about a gangsta moment. In 2000, 50 Cent was shot 9 times and survived. Just a few years later, he dropped one of the biggest rap albums of the decade, Get Rich or Die Tryin', solidifying his legacy in hip-hop. The MySpace era and top 8 drama. Before Instagram and TikTok, MySpace was the social media battlefield, okay? Your top 8 could actually start fights. Profile songs set the mood, and you learned how to code without even realizing it. It was messy, but it was legendary. The digital revolution and why we still love it. The early 2000s wasn't just about pop culture. It was the digital revolution. Aim away messages were basically our first Twitter posts. MySpace top 8 caused more drama than a reality show. We love Y2K because it was the last era before social media really fully took over. It was a time when we weren't always glued to our phones. But when we were making the most fire custom ringtones and picking the perfect MySpace song to set the mood. Why Y2K still owns the culture today? So why does Y2K still have a tight hold on us? Because it was a moment of bold creativity, unforgettable icons, and maximalist self-expression. It was messy, chaotic, and full of attitude. But that's exactly what made it legendary. Whether it's the fashion, the music, or the movies, one thing's for sure, we'll never stop being obsessed with Y2K.